Hi, I'm Merril Hoge, and this is The American Athlete. Taking care of yourself is not just eating right and training right. It's also doing all the exams and all the follow-ups you need to do, because early diagnosis of anything advantage you. I'm really a motivational speaker now. That is, an author, which probably all my teachers in high school and college are passing out right now, and they just heard that, that I've written books and I speak now. All I can remember is the second I was born, I wanted to play every sport. I mean, I tried everything. We were in the backyard playing football. We were on basketball courts, baseball. I couldn't wait for one sport to end so I could get to another sport as a kid. But football had that uniqueness to it that the other sports I played didn't have, and that was the contact of it. I just loved that.
Hoge's passion for football has always run deep. During his 8-year career as an NFL running back, he prided himself on being dependable, and at one point even had a record to prove it.
I had the record for the most consecutive games played in the NFL at that point. Dan Marino blew his Achilles out the year before, and I was next in line. And I was always proud of that, because when you get into 120 or so games, every player respects that. When you know a running back has played that many, you're like, okay, that ain't easy. Well, first, football at every level is safer than it's ever been. In the history of that sport, it is the best era to ever play football in. If you talk about equipment, okay, the helmet that I wore versus the helmet that exists today is 100% better than when I played. And what I wore was 100% better than when they wore in the 50s and 60s. So equipment is incredible. We now have protocols in place to care for all injuries, especially a head injury. So there's a process, treatments and therapies that are incredible, that help not just professional players, but kids and all level of sports that a lot of families actually don't know much about, because your kids could get hurt slipping in a shower, playing in the backyard, falling off a bike, a trampoline. So knowing that they can be cared for is a powerful thing. The way the game is played today and the rules in place, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's not like back in the day. Well, there's no reason to target somebody's knees or deliberately be a torpedo and target their head. That is not the art of playing the game. So really, the idea is you take that out of it. The game just kind of eroded. Those things weren't really against the rule, and that's what players started to do. And then we started realizing, okay, those deliberate acts are what's causing some of the injuries. If we eliminate the deliberate acts, force a pro to be a pro, and tackle the way you should tackle, they're better and they're safer. Right now, listen, I wish I could go back and play. Actually, if all these had been in place, my career's probably not over based on that first concussion. Even though mine was severe and I was improperly cared for with the first one, based on the protocols, treatments, the cognitive rehab and physical rehab that exists today, there's a chance that I'd have been able to return to play, because I was still in my prime. That's why protocols are in place, so you don't go back after you've had a concussion until you're properly cleared. And the evidence will tell you that if you do the proper rehab and treatment now before you return to play, you're not at any greater risk than anybody else as long as you have cleared properly. Can they have a post-concussion symptom? Sure, I had that. I've experienced that, but that does not mean you're gonna have cognitive issues later in life, and there's ways to treat that kind of stuff, and it's not medication stuff. I mean, it's therapy treatments cognitively and physical treatment. And I tell parents all the time, if you're really concerned about your kids, you love them, and we want to band together to do the very best thing for our kids. If we ban sugar till age 14, we will have done a better job for our kids' long and short-term health than any one thing that you can take them from.
Merril cares a lot about youth athletes and wants parents to do their own research on safety in sports. He hopes his book will help provide information on head injuries with insights derived from his own career.
People need to be more skeptical when they hear things said, and I tell people, be skeptical of me. Go look into the stuff. Go research it. Read the scientific literature. You can verify it. I'm just telling you what it says. It's not my scientific literature versus theirs. It's all the same stuff. If you read it, you'll understand it too. You'll be like, how could they do this? How could they do this, say the things they say in the public arena versus what the scientific literature really says? That's disturbing. That's why I wrote the book. Like I said, 99 to 90% of our athletes are 8 to 18. It's the families that are out there all confused and worried now that their kids are gonna have issues or don't let them play sports because they're gonna have issues, when it's the best time to ever be playing sports. So that's really why I wrote the book. And that's why I got Dr. Cummings to be a part of that, because somebody had to help me with the scientific understanding and explanation. It's not just about the science either. It is the facts and truth about it, but it's also about all of the things that you can do to care for your kids if they do have an injury. Things that you should have in youth sports if they don't have them. Because parents, like to tell people, in communities, you're the gatekeeper. We're all the gatekeepers in our communities of how we're conducting and how we're operating our youth sports. So if we don't know the things that we should be doing, let's educate ourselves and make sure we apply them.